Black men made millions and millions of dollars off of the degradation of women and men for decades. It has caused great harm in our community. Now the women are following suit. This is where black men have led us. There is no one without the other. Either outlaw all degradatory music by men and women or STF. What's it gonna be? First, I'm just going to address this. I'm not sure who you're telling to shut up. You might want to straighten yourself up. When you roll through here, hopefully you're just talking in general, because it's going to be a fun day today. But I'm going to let that slide. Right now, the one thing that the most glaring issue that you're going to see pop up in a lot of these comments is what has been stated. It's the black man's fault. It's where black men have led us. So what you're going to see is that quite a few commenters, right, are going to state that, yo, all of this is shouldered on the black man, right? Even though within the video that people are commenting on, I literally stated that, yo, black men were sitting up there rapping about XYZ. We literally made the blueprint, right? And we also showed you the dark road and where it leads. So why is it that you as a woman would then look at that blueprint, see that it leads nowhere, and then you want to sit up there and follow suit and go off the same cliff knowing exactly what's going to take place? But here you have people basically telling you that black women are not able to think for themselves. They're not able to look at the scenery. They're not able to figure things out for themselves. This is, in a sense, what this is telling you. This is also further enabling the same bad behavior, right? Not to mention that way before we had these female rap artists, right? We had positive female rap artists. But where were all of the black women to support them? Interesting. There's going to be silence on that. We had a lot of, let me repeat that again. We had a lot of positive female rap artists in the 80s and in the 90s. But yet, where were all of the droves of black women to sit up there and to support them? I guess that's not the type of time that a lot of black women were on.
Another one.
Women naturally follow the lead of a man. I don't care what people try to say. It's instinct. Clearly, these girls are rapping. When black men stop the BS and walk the walk by setting a standard of life, women will follow. It really starts with the man. Play your roles. However, I can assure you that an abusive man will not be followed. Finally, if you think that 50% of black women act ratchet like this, you're sick. Find a better group of women. Get out of the streets looking for a mate. Leave streets to the streets. You picking up fast food when you need home cooked. I wouldn't have even known this trash song even existed if it weren't for this video. Stop digging in the trash. So she liked to state that women want to follow the lead of, men, right? So when you have a man such as myself, I'm giving an example, right? And I put out a multitude of videos basically dictating to women, telling women that, yo, the road that you're walking, it's a dead end. It's not beneficial, right? It's destructive, right? It's delusional, right? You have other men sitting up there telling women like, yo, you got to sit up there and, start thinking to your level. Like, it's great that you feel that you're independent, but just because you're independent and you have these certain things doesn't mean that you deserve these things because you have X, Y, and Z, right? A lot of people can have certain things, but that doesn't make you a king. A lot of people can have certain things, but that doesn't make you rich. A lot of people can have certain things, but that doesn't make you a genius. So what a lot of people have tried to tell women is to think within reality, right? Think within the realm of that, what you can touch, see, and smell, right? Don't try to fly off into another universe that you've never seen before and you've never experienced. That doesn't make any sense, right? Because once you get there, you're not going to know how to act, right? You're not going to know how anything works, right? You're not going to know how to manage anything because it's something vastly different versus the universe that you were clearly in. So we're in this universe here, right? Where women are independent, they're boss chicks, they're getting their own money, they're getting the bag, they're chasing all of this stuff, right? And they're not listening to guys. They don't care for the nice guys. They care for the ignorant and the bad guys. This is why they consistently state what? Nice guys finish last. And this is a fact. That's not up for discussion. That's not up for debate. Because in reality, you can look at what women like to go towards, right? There's barely a woman on this planet that has not dated or been married to, right? The bad boy, right? Because those are the ones that, liven things up. They spice things up. Life is never boring with those guys, right? Women don't like the nice guys. Why? Because those guys are boring. They're squares. Everything is the same thing as what it was previously. And women don't really like those types of things, right? So you're sitting up here saying leave the streets to the streets. Well, you should do the same thing and try having that conversation with women who like dealing with bad types of guys, with detrimental types of guys, with abusive types of guys. The main things that I've stated by giving my own example is that, you're going to attract, right, what you are, right? Or that you're going to attract something, right? Due to the fact that your energy is not specifically aligned correctly, right? You have the unique possibility of attracting everything, which is not really what you want. But because you didn't determine the trajectory of your own type of energy, the universe is like, well, your energy is set to this. Well, I'm just going to give you whatever falls in your lap. Instead of telling the universe, I want X, Y, and Z, then the universe is going to deliver you X, Y, and Z, right? So you have a lot of these women who are rappers, right, who are dictating and depicting to you, right, what a lot of black women are out here doing at this moment in time. So it's great that you want to say, if you believe that even 50% of black, it's great that you want to feel that way. You can feel that way about your circle, about the women that you specifically know. I'm going by what I have observed as a man walking through this life, right? Starting off from a little boy to a teenager to a grown man. So you're sitting up here saying that it's not even close to 50%. I'm like, all right, I'm not sure exactly, where you are at this moment in time, but better yet, I can pinpoint that because you clearly said that you wouldn't even have known that this video existed if it wasn't for the video that I put out. So I know that you're not aware of a lot of things. So which means that the numbers that you're speaking on, you're not even aware of the way that a lot of women even portray or act in an everyday society at this moment in time. So technically for this conversation, you might want to just like roll back and just take your time to just observe some things a little bit more and indulge in, a little bit of this type of entertainment so that you can get an understanding, and then look at all of the droves of black women who are supporting, right, this type of negative detrimental music that is devaluing not only themselves but the women listening and the young girls, right, growing up with the women who are listening to the same music.
Another one.
About having sex with multiple women, cheating, throat babies, doing all types of drugs, shooting, robbing, and killing. The women rap sexually about having sex with multiple men, taking money while dressing explicit. I mean, it's really no comparison. Both parties are wrong. Hashtag real truth. Yet again, let me repeat myself like a broken record. If black men literally made the blueprint for how it is that things are going to follow through and how you're going to end up at the end of the day, why would you then, as a black woman, decide that, yeah, this is the best route to sit up there and do? Let me sit up there and be just like the man, right? He's getting all this attention, all of this money. He's getting all of these people to follow him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me be just like the man and let me sit up here and do what it is that he's doing. You're a woman. Focus on woman type things. Like I said before, when you look at these female rappers, you don't see a whole bunch of male groupies. That's not how that works. You see a whole bunch of women and others that are directly there, that are supporting this music at the concerts, listening to this music, gyrating and sitting up there dancing and knowing the lyrics and the words. That's not how that works. Whenever you see these black female artists, when they're getting into their cars, it's not a whole bunch of straight guys running up to their cars, banging on their doors, trying to get their number, trying to slide through, trying to go to the whole. That's not how it works. Like I said before, this is what happens when you're trying to be the man. This is what happens when you're trying to follow a blueprint that was not meant for you. So tell me, why is it that all of these women, right, who have a certain type of look and yada 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 and da 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 da, how come they didn't want to be R&B singers or just singers in general? How come they didn't want to do poetry? How come they didn't want to do spoken word? How come they didn't want to write poetry books? Right? How come they didn't want to go into opera or something like that, right? Explain that to me. Like I said, you can't, because they're looking at the outcome. So you have women like Whitney Houston, right? You have Patti LaBelle, right? You have Mariah Carey, right? You have Aaliyah. You have Brandy and Monica and all these other black female singers, right? So you mean to tell me that out of all of the beautiful, successful, beautiful black women who are in music, who have talent, who can sing, right? Who literally put their souls on the floor. You mean to tell me that these black women who are rapping, they were like, I think the blueprint for the black man that the black man created was specifically built for black women. And I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to go with what black women have already established and already showed me what happens when they do that, which is a positive outcome, right? Those women have businesses, right? They have royalties, right? They still have a career, right? Their lives are not in danger. But yet, you have black women here deciding, oh, I want to live the dangerous life. I want to talk about drugs, alcohol, money. I want to talk about cars. I want to talk about, taking, guys from other black women, breaking up homes and having them get me pregnant and then leaving those guys for another guy. Like I said before, the amount of enabling that is taking place at this moment in time, the amount of excuses that I'm literally getting is baffling. It is highly concerning. But like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. Brothers and sisters, you all forgot who controls music and all entertainment industry. The so-called chosen ones who have all the money coming from funding the slave trades, Atlantic and Spanish. Now, this is the thing. I get what it is that you're saying. I get where it is that you're going directly with this. And I've talked about this before. I've covered this before. And I'm past that. My main thing is, okay, I'll put it to you like this. Nobody's going to tell me that the individuals that you're speaking on are controlling the fact that young black boys are sitting up here writing their own lyrics at home. Who's controlling them? Oh, that's right. That's coming from them. But I already know what people are going to say. It was like, well, yeah, they are writing it, but where did they get that influence from? Who did they learn that from? Who did they idolize? And then once you figure out who did they learn it from, where did it come from, where did it idolize, then you'll link it back right to what I said again, brother. Like I said, I get what it is that you're saying. And what I'm showing you is all this is going to do is end up into a forever circle, right? I'm going to state what I'm stating, putting responsibility directly on the individuals who are writing, who decide that they want to sit up there and rap instead of doing a trade. Let me put it to you into a better circumstance, right? Black people don't even have to rap. We can decide to be entrepreneurs. We can decide to sit up there and open up grocery stores. We can decide to sit up there and do trade schools, which have a quicker turnaround versus actually doing college. But what do people want to sit up here and do? They want to be rappers. It wasn't too long ago, right, that some years ago, it was like everybody and their mama wanted to become rappers. You saw families trying to be rappers. And I'm like, what is happening right now where black people in the community are literally trying to put their whole family on as rappers, knowing that everybody can't rap, and that as soon as y'all start rapping, y'all sound like the other people down the street. You sound like the other rappers that you idolize. You ain't saying nothing different. And that's the problem. And that's what I keep sitting up and saying. So you can say whoever is control, but who's forcing them to write the lyrics that is talking about verbally taking the lives of their brothers in these streets? Who's telling them to do that? Just like for the young girl in these videos, the city girls, who's telling them to sit up there and like, yo, rap this, rap this? A lot of this, like I told you before, if you go back and look at that video, she was telling you her own life experience. She was like, yo, I sat up there and took a lot of guys from a lot of other black women. So you're not going to tell me that the industry, you're not going to tell me that the man enabled her and forced her to do that at a very young age. That's her. So if that's her, What do you then think that means when she's rapping those lyrics? That's her as well. She's rapping her life. The same thing as a lot of brothers out here who are a part of the streets, in and out of jail and prison. They're part of a multitude of gangs. They've committed a lot of crimes. They're rapping about the stuff that they've actually done. Like I said, it's like, yo, I'm tired of the fact of black people not wanting to take responsibility and wanting to sit up there and put that somewhere else. Like, yo, this is the main part of the reason why the community is in the circumstances that it's in at this moment in time. Come on now. Keep the blame and the focus on the beings who created this perverse behavior. White people. Keep the focus on white people, Seiji. Then see how many channels get shut down. As long as we look at each other for content, this will never stop. Just try it. We are not the problem. They are. Well, I am going to tend to slightly disagree with you there. Growing up in the black community, like I said, growing up in Detroit, can I sit up there and state that, yeah, the government this, the public officials this, the police this? Yeah, I can sit up there and state all that because I've seen it, right? I've been a part of that, right? I've lived in that, right? But then outside of that whole spectrum, when I look at the things that black people have control of, let's say on basic needs, just walking down the street and you see in a car speeding down and you see somebody throwing trash out of their window. Are we going to say that that's the public officials? Are we going to say that that's white people? Are we going to say that's police? Or are we going to blame those individuals who are breaking the law by speeding and then breaking the law again by throwing trash out of the car, thereby enabling the street to start to look cluttered, to start to look unkept, therefore affecting, right, the look of the neighborhood, right? Therefore bringing down the the natural beauty, of the neighborhood, right? And then once that starts getting brought down, then you're gonna have people like, oh man, all I see is like trash. People keep throwing stuff. What's gonna happen? Black homeowners are gonna sit up there and start moving out, right? So then once black homeowners start moving out, then you're gonna start to have dilapidated homes. You're going to start to have those abandoned homes getting broken into. You're going to start to have squatters, right? Once all of that basically takes place, right? Now that home is in shambles. It used to be a good home because you had a homeowner there. But because of the initial thing that first happened, which was that black driver speeding down the street, deciding to throw trash, it had a snowball effect, right? So now when you got that one dilapidated house that is completely in shambles, in and out, you know what else happens? Right after those squatters and all the other stuff has been happening, it's been boarded up and in a sense cleaned up around and taken care of. Then you sit up there and start having the drug dealers move directly into that house. Or maybe they might just so buy up that house, right? Then once that happens, now you start to get more traffic directly into that community, which wasn't necessarily there, right? So then now once you got that brand new traffic coming in there, eyes are sitting up there watching, other people are leery and they start getting scared, and then they're going to sit up there and start booking it. They're going to start getting directly out of that neighborhood because unsavory characters are now showing up in that neighborhood. So now since you have this brand new foot traffic, you got these drug dealers there, right? And then you got more people leaving out. You got more dilapidated buildings, right? So now because of all of that, what once was has now transformed into something else. And you know who had control over that? Black people. What could have potentially happened, right? Each of the black people there in their neighborhood could have decided that, okay, I don't like the way that this looks. Let me start sitting up there picking up the trash around the neighborhood, or let me start picking up the trash at least around my home. If everybody basically had that exact same mentality, the block wouldn't sit up there and look the way that it looks. Like I said, I'm speaking from experience. Why? Because I would go around picking up trash in my neighborhood. I would sit up there and shovel and clear up the trash or anything like that around my home that I lived in Detroit. So like I said before, we can do all of this, the government, this, police, that, no. But when it comes to black people in their own neighborhoods and what it is that black people are able to control, black people are able to control a lot. It's the problem is that a lot of black people don't want to sit up there and do it. because a lot of black people don't want to manage and work for anything. Like I said before, go through a lot of black communities and try to tell me otherwise. I've been there. You ain't gonna sit up there and tell me no different. So, like I said before, keep the conversation exactly where I had it. All of this is fully in control of black people. If we are the movers and the shakers, if we're the ones that got the whole world literally rapping, trying to act like us, dress like us, look like us, have hairstyles and haircuts like us, trying to sit up there and talk in the same slang as us, the same pronunciations, then obviously that's showing you the control that we have. That's showing you the influence that we have. You're not going to tell me that the white man imbued us, right, with that power of influence that came from the universe itself. So, like I said before, black people need to sit up there and learn how to handle rightfully the power that has been given to them.
Another one.
This is why white people distribute this filth that they made. The truth is, this noise is brought by white people a lot more than us. No, no, no. That is completely true, right? The last part, that it is brought a lot more than them, because there are more of them than there are of us. So, of course, they are going to be the utmost main consumers. I knew this when I sat up there and saw DMX performing, and it was nothing but a sea of white people. Sea of white people sitting up there singing, X gonna give it to you. Like I said, Public Enemy and so on and so on and so on. I've been seeing this since rap has been created. I've been seeing this. I've been noticed and known this. But this is what I'm sitting up there saying yet again. The main point is, black people, the artists, the black men that are doing this. I'm just going to start because everybody wants to say it's the black man's fault. So I'm going to start there, because obviously the black man is the only one that can be accountable and responsible and shoulder the brunt of all of that, because he's strong enough to do it. Right? So I'm just going to focus and put the focus on him for this topic, right? For this portion. So the black man that decides to create this, you mean to tell me that the Caucasian man has so much control over him that he can't think for himself, that he can't lead himself, that he can't stop his own mouth from moving, that he can't stop his own hand from writing? You mean to tell me that he couldn't opt to basically do something else? There's a lot of black men out here that were once in Hollywood, but because the stakes got too high, and then they didn't want to compromise their own being, their own beliefs, right? They didn't want to compromise themselves. They were like, you know what? I'm good. I did what I was able to do, and that's going to live out there forever. I'm fine with sitting up there just like working at a store, just like bagging up some stuff. I'm good. I'm good. You got a lot of black male rappers that were once rappers. They might have had like one hit wonders, or they might have had a few hits out there, but they were like, you know what, this is getting a little bit too hot for me right now. I ain't about that life. I'm about to just sit up there and duck out. So you mean to tell me that a lot of the black men who are rappers right now couldn't just all of a sudden leave? They could, they just don't want to, because those black men have never taken the opportunity to take any type of financial literacy classes. Better yet, let me put it to a broader extent. The black community in general has never taken, the initiative to put themselves in any type of financial literacy or financial learning arenas, classes, books, anything like that. So a lot of this would actually stop if people were more financially literate, right? Which means that a lot of these black men that have these millions, they're basically in debt when they're rap artists. They're in debt first off when they start. Because the money, the millions that they give them, that's money that they're fronting you, because they feel that you're going to be able to form, X, Y, and Z. So you might get 2 to 4 million directly up front. Right? You didn't even sell any records yet. You're just getting this money up front. And they're giving you that money up front because they're like, all right, well, we expect you to basically manage your own marketing. You got to sit up there and get your jewelry. You got to get all of this. You're going to get your man. Like I said, it realistically, if you go deeper into it, it's a whole loop that's meant to, in a sense, keep people there. You're going to keep consistently being in debt, right? Unless you're like one of these artists, like a 50 Cent, that can do way more than what they projected, and you can sit up there and do whatever it is that you want to do, and then you can get smart with your money and, I don't know, put it into vitamin water, and you can sit up there and get like way more money than what you would have made basically rapping, right? So like I said before, that's what financial literacy looks like. That's what it looks like when you leave the game, right? So 50 Cent started off as what? dealing in drugs. He was doing stuff in the streets, right? We all heard the story. He got, shot 9 times. He survived. Bulletproof, right? So then this is when he became a rap artist, and he was rapping about all of this stuff that he went through, that he seen, and that his other guys were sitting up there going through, right? So you're looking at a black man that took control of his life, right? He first started off in the streets doing street stuff. Then he left the streets totally. Then became a rapper. Then after becoming a rapper and investing his money wisely, left the rap game and became a businessman. Do you see those steps? So nobody's going to tell me that the man, right, 100% has a hold on what black men can do or say, because I can clearly list examples of a multitude of successful black men who have gone from quote unquote the gutter, right, the deepest of the deep, all the way to the top. But yet, in a sense, that's not what a lot of black men are trying to follow. They just want to stay in the gutter because, if you from the gutter and you just rapping about that real stuff, like, you the realest one out here, right? You got other black men perpetuating that same type of nonsense, that the only way that you can be real and truthful is if you rapping about being real and truthful while staying in that same position and never elevating yourself. Crabs in a barrel.
Here comes a new challenger!
Then they'll say some dumb outlandish ish like, well, it's men that like this stuff, so we do it for y'all. But in the same breath, they say, I'm not to be objectified. Men sensationalize sex so much more. I'm like, To me, it's just the feminist movement just gives women the excuse to indulge in this type of behavior shamelessly. But Mother Nature and Father Time do not work well with these kinds of heathen women. And that's bars. That is 100% bars. And that's one of the other things that I've touched on as well, that within the feminist ideology, right, you've had such things as the Amber Rose, walk, and, other types of female celebration about the body and different stuff like that. And these are the same women that will put themselves out there, but then they'll be like, no, you don't have the right to objectify me. I'm not here to be objectified. I'm just, celebrating myself, celebrating womanhood, celebrating women's bodies, and all this other type of stuff. Women have the freedom to do whatever it is that they want to do. You're right. 100%. I have, trust me, I do not disagree. Women can do it whatever they want to sit up here and do. But when it comes to facing those consequences, just be ready to face those consequences, because those consequences are going to hit fast and hard. As this man basically told you, reality is going to sit up there and strike. So all of these women that have the exact same bodies, the exact same butts, the exact same thighs, the exact same stomach and belly button, the exact same breasts, the exact same lips, the exact same face, the exact same makeup, the exact same hair, they're going to sit up there and have to deal with reality. They're going to have to sit up there and deal with time. And time does not care about your feelings or your tears. It is what it is. And once that time basically hits, let's see the selection of men that you're going to have. Because the main ones that are going to want to go after those women and women of that order are going to be young guys. The guys of, right, that same era as those women, or within the same age range, they're not going to want to deal with those women because they already know the type of mentality that they got. They already know the types of women that they are. They already know the types of ideology that they have. And no dude, in his later years wants to sit up there and deal with that. He doesn't, and he won't. So he's going to sit up there and deal with other. So like I said before, they're going to sit up there and learn it. They're going to sit up there and figure it out. But the saddest part is you're going to have too many people out here that will still enable a lot of these women to go out here and do the things that they want to do, because at the end of the day, like I always told y'all, who's going to be the blame? Who's going to be the villain? Who's going to be the boogeyman, right? It's going to be the black man. And the craziest part is this. If there was ever a point in time, right, where black men were just erased from the face of the planet, I'm talking about all black men just disappeared overnight, even without us being here, black men would still be to blame. for the things that are happening. That's the craziest part. And that's the part that I don't even think that a lot of people even realize at this moment in time. That's how jacked up, right, things are at this moment. They even if black men were to disappear, they would still be to blame, and that the ones who are here would never take full-fledged responsibility for their actions, past, present, or future.
Let's go crazy!
Are you even from America? Tell me that you watch my channel without telling me that you don't watch my channel. This is what this looks like, folks. This is literally all of the stuff that I've literally listed. Talked about childhood, talked about where I've lived, talked about all of those things, the many things that I've seen, right? And this is what we have at this moment. This is the craziest thing that I have seen, past a lot of the other comments that I have literally sat there, right, and gave my response to in this video. This is one of the craziest ones right here. I don't even really even know what to say right now. This is just, it's just that crazy. It's just that crazy. Because like I said before, if you actually take the time, like I said, for one, I've gotten over the whole fact of, in a sense, trying to do all of this research and give people the information. And then after I give people information, they're like, oh, well, I need more information. I need you to look this up. No, 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 no. You're a grown adult. If you feel that I'm not even American, then I need you to prove that I'm not even American. If you're going to basically ask this type of question of me, what type of proof do you have in order to state that I, right, the man speaking, SEIJIHITO, is not even American? That's all I'm sitting up there saying. I would love it. I would love it for this person to roll up and be like, yo, I have 100% proof that Seiji is not American. He's not FBA. He's not Adios. He's not any of these things. He's this, he's that. I would love for you to sit up there and do. Matter of fact, this is what I'll tell you to do. Get all of your proof together to prove that I'm not American, and put that in a video. And let me know when you do a video, and I will, even on my channel, right, I will put a link underneath, right, for that video, because I'm going to do a review of that exact same video on this platform. Now, mind you, I'm not where I used to be, so it might not get a lot of looks, but it'll still get something, right? Symbiotic relationship, right? That's a brother. I'm sorry, I'm not a brother. What would be the terminology that I would need to use? I'm acting black, but I'm actually white. I'm playing for the other side. I don't know. I don't know the terminology that people would actually like to use. I know terminology that people have actually called me who are black. And that's just off of the way that I critique black people and the way that I speak. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But like I said, I have all the time in the world, you know, and I will be waiting for that response at some point in time to basically show up where you have your proof to say that SEIJIHITO is not American or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Have fun with that.